y'all, it's Belle. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a recent reads, so another 10 books. I was like 20 to 25 behind, now I'm like 8 behind, so it's getting better. First, I read the last book in the Agatha Audley series, The Silver Serpent by Lana Jones. This is definitely a new favorite trilogy. It's just such a great detective style mystery middle grade. The ones I usually read tend to be historical fiction. These aren't, but that doesn't bother me. But I think it's because there wasn't constant mention of technology or cell phones. Agatha actually hardly ever uses her cell phone and actually keeps it off most of the time, which I love that. So sad it's over. I wish there was more. Can't say much since it is the third and final book, but well, it went out with a bang. So many twists and turns, jaw on the floor moments, just like the events that happened towards the ending. Ugh. Such an engaging read. Feels like you're right there with Agatha trying to solve the mystery. This one kept me guessing, and it kept everything I loved about the first two as well. Great characters, great friendships, suspense, mystery, danger, intrigue, adventure, and a lot of imagination and heart. Superb writing. I need more middle grade from this author. I love Agatha so much. Even when she's not in disguise, she's just so stylish. The writing is so vivid, I can see her outfits perfectly in my head as she describes them. Very atmospheric reads as well. Love the mystery in this one and how it all came together. Not just the main mystery of this one, but also the secondary mystery I've mentioned before. I just loved it so much. An amazing ending. Highly recommend. Just absolutely loved this. Then I read the second book in the Sisters Ever After series, Glass Slippers by Leah Cypress. I love this one even more than the first one. This is the second in the series, but each follow a sister of a different fairy tale character. So it's new characters, new stories, so you can read them as standalones if you wanted to. I love the author's spin on the Cinderella story, including a third, never before mentioned evil stepsister. Just such a thrilling and suspenseful read. A main part being because you're constantly guessing if the other characters besides the stepsister we follow are who they portray themselves as, or who as they are portrayed to be by others. I loved her as a main character. She just fascinated me in a way, and I had a blast with her. The author's whole take on the glass slippers, the stepmother, stepsisters, and Cinderella was a unique story in its own right, and I loved what she did with everything. It can get a little darker at times, but I thoroughly enjoyed it and stayed on the edge of my seat. There's one thing I didn't like, and I mentioned not liking it in another book too, I believe. There's a part where a character walks the path of moonlight on water, so they're walking on water. And it just made me uncomfortable because of my faith, but that's a personal thing. This is full of danger, adventure, suspense, family, friendship, magic, and highly imaginative and entertaining. I just highly recommend these. I cannot wait for the next one. And then continuing with reading my older Marina Cohen books before I read her new one, The Doll's Eye. Illustrations inside, just beautiful. Definitely loving her books. They're dark and creepy, and this one is no exception. It was so good. There's a history with this creepy house and the dollhouse, and we slowly get some backstory as to how it all began through some alternating chapters that show the story of a long time ago when it started and how. Those even got very creepy. I love those chapters so much as well, though, and they added even more to the story. I think dolls can be extremely creepy, so I love a good scary story about dolls and dollhouses. This author always seems to grab me and put me in a trance with her writing. Vivid, descriptive, and eerie. So full of twists and turns. And so much suspense. I flew through this. Great themes and messages in here as well. Blending families, change, and be careful what you wish for. And you'll either love or hate the ending, or be somewhere in between. I'm in between. It just felt unfinished in a way, and wasn't as satisfying for me personally. Other than that, I love the scary story so much, and highly recommend it, and I'm loving her books. And I read The Vexatious Haunting of Lily Griffin by Paula Hayes. And it was sent to me by Fremantle Press. I think it says it came out July 5th, so it's out now. This is basically 3-story bind up in one. Illustrations throughout. Like I said, basically 3 different stories. We follow Lily, and the events in each book happen back to back to each other. There's just a new mystery and adventure for each story. Now I'm in love with these characters, especially Lily. This writing and just everything about these. Not only is there a paranormal aspect and mysteries, there are also so many relatable issues at the core of the book. Sibling relationships, family relationships in general, dementia, loss, grief, bullying, friendships, adoption, social anxiety, culture, racism, and even some past child abuse is discussed from long ago. Lily is such a great main character, and she has such a gift for words. I would read from her point of view all day, every day. Such great humor in here as well. Lily makes some amazing friends too, and I love their scenes together so much. I related so much to some parts of the ever-changing, evolving, growing relationship with her brother. It's definitely a love-hate at that age. The mysteries were so great as well. I loved all the paranormal, supernatural aspects that went along with each mystery and how they related to the family or people connected to them. The way the second story ended had me all in the feels. Such a great ending. The way each mystery all came together was superb. Plus the way the last story connected it all and wrapped everything up was just phenomenal. I don't know if there'll be more books with Lily in the future, but I really hope so. Such endearing characters and engaging, superb writing. I just highly recommend. I can't believe how much I love this. It was so good. And then I read the third in the Seraphina series, Seraphina and the Splintered Heart by Robert Beatty. I was confused for the first probably 80 to 90 pages of this one and wasn't sure if I was even going to like it, honestly. But after that point, I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. I wish it could have been explained sooner in some way or something, so to avoid that frustration and confusion in the beginning. Because if I was a DNF person, I probably would have, which would have been a shame since I love the rest of the book so much. These just get darker and more mysterious and eerie as each book comes along. The whole concept of this one, once we know everything, is so unique, thought-provoking, and mind-blowing. I love the characters more and more each book. A previous character in particular that makes another appearance in this really fascinated me and hooked me. I love the way their story played out in here. Still love Seraphina's paw so much, and Brayden and Gideon still have my heart. Highly recommend. Really enjoying the series. I read Maggie McCormack and The Witch's Will by Kaya Blackley. The author had sent me this. Thank you so much. This is such an intricate and imaginative story. I'll put them on the grade for sure because this is some of the darker violence. I love this except for some animal death in here. That destroyed me, especially now. This has a found family, but really more of a re-found family, and I loved all of that. All the members of this amazing family are incredible and also different and unique as well. Maggie is quite a main character and is one tough cookie. She's already been through so much, and then to get introduced to this magic part of her all at once, and then the responsibility she has right away. She did great, in my opinion, with all of it and dealing with it. This has magic seemingly wrought by nature, where even the trees can speak to the Wood Witch, who is their protector, to very dark magic. The dark magic and the ones wielding it could be a representation of humans helping destroy our planet in a way as well. You get hooked right away, and the adventures start right away too. The world and story building are so incredibly done and unfold brilliantly. Everything unfolds at a great pace with an amazing flow, with all the little puzzle pieces sprinkled about at just the right parts. So full of imagination. You have the talking trees, talking mice, giants, fire-breathing talking dragon, giant spiders, lethal talking bunnies, badgers, goblins, spirits, talking frogs, crows, green men, shape-shifting dogs, the witch's wheel, and so much more. So many amazing characters in here, but I think Harry and Mary have my heart though. Full of adventure, danger, mystery, magic, nature, suspense, high stakes, family, and more. So many intriguing and gripping parts in here. Don't know when the next book will be out, but I can't wait to read it. Hopefully no animal deaths though. And I read Gatekeepers by Taylor Borchman. The author had sent me this. Thank you so much. This was phenomenal. A perfect Halloween read or anytime read if you're like me. It's set at Halloween. Amelia is such an endearing character and you just fall in love with her and this whole family, really. I love the whole idea of her adoptive parents being ghosts who are gatekeepers who make sure demons and such don't escape the underworld. I also love that Hades is their boss, and I loved how the author wrote his character. I could see and hear him in my mind so clearly. I was shocked when I find out who the demon is and that whole backstory. This is so atmospheric as well. Not just being a Halloween time story with the ghosts, demons, etc. But also it's set in New Orleans. New Orleans at any point would be great atmosphere, but at Halloween, I can't even imagine. The author's writing was vivid and descriptive, and the story also flowed very well. It's a shorter read, but the author packed a punch in those pages, and nothing felt left out or not explained enough. I only wish it was longer because I want more. It's just so good. The core of the story is family and finding the people who will love you and make you feel loved, wanted, needed, and safe. Give you that stability you need, especially as a child. I love the found family vibe of it all, and love the almost instant brother-sister bond we got to see develop between Amelia and Levi, who the adoptive parents had adopted years before. So much mystery, adventure, danger, atmosphere, imagination, spooky goodness, and just so much heart in here. So many great parts, but my favorite part might be Amelia riding a bike for the first time and the sass it brought out in her. You just have to read it. I don't know when there'll be more, but I need more. And finally, after reading her older books, I read her newer book finally, Shadowgrave by Marina Cohen. This is my fourth read by her, and I can honestly say she has definitely become my favorite author. She does a creepy, spooky, eerie, darker upper middle grade that I love. just so well. This was just as phenomenal. The whole town is so spooky. Gives me Victorian abandoned ghost town vibes. The people who live there make it even creepier. The author has such vivid and immersive writing that just pulls you into the story. And with this type of story, it makes it even more eerie and atmospheric. One thing I've noticed about her is that she likes to do each book is have chapters that show the past of some part of the story or characters, so you can see what led to the current situation. She does that again with this book, and it's something I always enjoy. It just makes me feel more connected to the story and characters and have just a better understanding in general. Our main character, Arlo, grabs your heart. That poor kid has been through so much. A mother who's battling illness in the past and who could battle it again. An absent father who cares more about his new wife and kids that they have together than Arlo and his sister, and not including him and his sister in any of it. And anxiety and fear between what happened with his mom and his dad's absence and constantly letting him down. It made Arlo so fearful of everything and non-trusting that things really will be okay. He also feels like the protector for his mom and sister. So much is on his shoulders. So of course, after a car crash where his mom is injured, coming upon this creepy town and its residents is a lot for him, to say the least. He shows true bravery though, because even though he's terrified, he's willing to do whatever it takes to get his family to safety. So many relatable issues and themes for kids in here to go along with this fantastical, spooky elements. What we end up learning about this town, the residents, and the mystery of it all as a whole, never saw coming. Such an intriguing idea, and it makes you think and makes you wonder what you would do and what type of person you could become as a result as well if you took one path. This is full of danger, suspense, family, imagination, heart, atmosphere, and superb, descriptive, hauntingly beautiful writing. Add in high stakes, the trapped feeling you get, the isolated town with no phones, no way out. Makes for a suspenseful, fast-paced, thrilling read. Also learned, loving in the author's note, the things that helped inspire the story. A few inspirations include a classic children's book, I won't say which because it might spoil certain aspects. Another was a poem by Robert Frost. I love that being in here, and the symbolic, deeper meaning that again makes you think. And the one most interesting to me, I love spooky things in history, is the real Livermore, or the abandoned town in here is Livermore. And there's a real Livermore, a ghost town in New Hampshire. I love when books are inspired in somewhat by real life places, people, or events. It's just so cool. I just highly recommend it. I cannot wait for more by her. And then I finally read the first book in A Girl Called Justice series, or Justice Jones series by Ellie Griffiths. A Girl Called Justice. I'm in love with everything about this. My only complaint is I wish it was longer, and that's only because I didn't want it to end. This checks like almost pretty much all my boxes for a perfect mystery read. Detective, sleuth style, historical fiction, humor, murder mystery, amazing atmospheric setting. Add in the boarding school, amazing friendships, superb writing, and amazing cast of characters. I was in heaven reading this. Justice is absolutely amazing. She was destined to be an amazing detective. Her mom wrote mystery detective style novels, and her dad is a lawyer who specializes in murder trials, and they named her Justice, for crying out loud. This is her destiny. This sets off right away with the mystery and intrigue, so you're hooked from the start. Well-paced mystery, perfectly sprinkled clues throughout, danger, suspense, and more. Add in a snowstorm where everyone is trapped at the boarding school, and we don't know who to trust, and it's just a nail-biting time. A perfect whodunit story. When I say each and every character is amazingly written, they are. Even the ones that annoy you to no end, it's like you love to dislike them. But then there's moments where you think you even kind of love their annoying selves too. It's just brilliant. I know and remember each one. They're all so different with identifiable traits and personalities. So atmospheric, and the author really brings the story to life in every way. The boarding school and the surrounding area, down to the food, is described perfectly. I'm always impressed when authors have books at about 200 pages but manage to pack everything needed and more into those pages without it feeling like it needed more. Just so impressive, and this author definitely accomplished that. Justice has my heart. She's such a great main character. Stella and Dorothy also have my heart. Just amazing friends. The first friends other than a boy from home that Justice has ever made. Dorothy especially is my kind of girl, and her and Justice are kindred spirits for sure. I also adore Herbert, Justice's dad. All the girls in her dormitory are great fun. Well, I wouldn't call Rose fun, but you kind of always need at least one Rose kind of character. Just highly recommend. Also loved reading in the back. The author loosely based this one on her mother and her mother's time at boarding school, and I love that deeper emotional connection for the author. Just love this so much. And then lastly for the video, I read the latest book in the Pinch of Magic series by Michelle Harrison, A Storm of Sisters. And wow, I thought the last book in the series was my favorite of the series so far, but now I think this one just might be. And being the fourth book in the series, that's really impressive. This has so many things about it that I love. An amazing setting. We once again have a new location and this town of wilderness with the winter market, the frozen lake, freezing setting, and legend of highwayman and his love who haunts the hotel, the crystal ball, plus the drowning girl. Is a very atmospheric location indeed. I love the new characters we meet in this and fell for them as well. My heart belongs to Sunny and Bon Bon though. If there's a wolf, my heart will be there. Even the characters who are evil, bad, or just rude, cranky, like Cousin Clarissa, are written so well as usual. Such a gripping and fascinating read. Got harder and harder to put down. I know Charlie is many people's favorite, but she's always annoyed me and still does. Sometimes Fliss is my favorite, and then most other times it's Betty. Of course, Granny is always going to be a favorite as well. I love that woman. I do love that the sisters are so different to one another with their own unique traits and personalities. And there's that trapped feeling setting in here yet again when there's a big ice snowstorm and no one can leave. There's a lot of adventure and plenty of danger and suspense, especially towards the end. Wowza. Full of so much atmosphere, imagination, sisterly love. The author still paints such a vivid story, and even though I read this one on 80 to 90 degree days Fahrenheit, her writing was so vivid I felt the cold. Very eerie, thrilling, haunting, and yet a cozy read. I love going on another adventure and mystery with the Wittershins, and I hope there's plenty more to come. Can't remember if there's gonna be more. I hope there's more though. Alright y'all, that's it for this video. Have you read any of these? Did you like them? Did you not? Did you see any that you want to read now? Let me know in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you would like to subscribe, I would love that if you'd like to. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.